This is the first episode of Spittin Factz, and we're gonna spit some facts. So look, the first fact is gonna be about the concept of non-doership, because it could be a bit tricky, but it's actually it's a very important concept to understand, I feel like, and it becomes easy as you think about it more. So look, the whole concept is that your truest self, does not do anything. You don't actually do not a damn thing. You feel me? Now you may be like, well, John, aren't you talking shit right now? I'm not talking. Who's talking then? Pretty much an idea. It's just channeling through me. Now, this whole concept comes from the fact that you are just awareness, your truest self, what you actually are. It's just a point of awareness. It's like a camera. What does a camera do? It just observes shit. It doesn't talk. It doesn't do none of that shit. It just simply records a video. It sees what the fuck it sees and just records that shit. That's literally what the fuck you are. You're just pretty much a camera. You feel me? But then at some point you become a camera that's able to think and judge what the fuck's actually going on. And now because of that, we suffer from that shit. So instead of just fucking recording this shit and observing this shit, now we somehow became able to fucking now we want to be a fucking director and shit like that, and that's just causing us to fucking suffer because the people or the fucking situations are just not happening how we want them to happen. But that's because, nigga, we're just the camera, not the director. We gotta calm down and just do our job, observe, do not direct. You feel me? But that's the whole concept. Whenever you ever did something and then regret that shit, if you was inside your truest self, you wouldn't have done that shit. But a thought and an emotion channeled through you and caused you to act a certain way. Right now, a thought is channeling through me and now I'm speaking that bitch. You feel me? But it's not technically truly me doing it. I'm just using my intelligence and my willpower in order to control my body to let this idea channel through me. You feel me? Because you can use your intelligence and your willpower to control this body, but you are not actually this body. You feel me? If you use a hammer to nail some shit, right? You use the hammer, but you are not the hammer. If you use your intelligence and your willpower, right? You can use that bitch, but you are not that. You are not your intelligence. You are not your willpower. It's just a tool. So, you feel me? It could be tricky to understand, but the whole concept is supposed to point to the fact that you need to realize that a lot of the times we're acting, we're always acting from a thought and an emotion. And a lot of the times, these thoughts and emotions that we are acting out of are not coming from our truest self. Therefore, we cause ourselves a lot of suffering. But when we realize that we're not the one that's actually doing it, one, we can learn to forgive ourselves, and then two, we can learn to get in tune with the truest self and have the thoughts and emotions that come from the truest self. And now when you understand that, you can understand what the fuck a spirit actually is. Because even Ryan Cropper said this inside of the live stream that I did with him. He said that a spirit is the intelligence behind something, and that's a fact. He said that oxygen has a spirit behind it, has an intelligence behind it. Your thoughts and emotions have an intelligence behind it. So when you think and shit like that, you're channeling spirits. Now, a spirit and a ghost are not the same thing, but you're channeling spirits. It's just, what spirit are you channeling? The happy spirit, the mad spirit, the sad spirit, the rich spirit. I don't like, what spirit are you channeling? Do you feel me? Because that's what's actually acting through you, and you're just observing that bitch. Like, I'm observing myself talk right now. I'm trying to make myself talk, and you can say I'm doing that action of talking. But like I said before, if I'm using a hammer, right? I'm not actually the hammer. If I'm using my intelligence and my willpower to talk, I'm not actually my intelligence, my willpower. Now, that may be tricky to understand. So understand that the point of this whole concept is to know that the things that you do, right, are coming from thoughts and emotions. All these thoughts and emotions are not in tune with your truest self. Therefore, when these thoughts and emotions channel through you and cause you to act a certain way, we say that it is not you acting because it's not coming from your truest self. If it was, then you wouldn't ever do anything that you regret. You feel me? But let's say that I had a different thought and idea. I would not be saying this shit. So it's just the idea that's really just coming through me. You feel me? I'm breaking this idea into life right now through this vessel. The idea is doing its thing. What ideas and emotions do you allow to come through you? Happy or sad? Glad or mad? You hear me? I'm joyful right now. This the joy spirit. So here's why mantras and affirmations work. Your mouth, right? Your speech is directly tied to your mind, especially the levels that you are not aware of. This is why if you're thinking a lot of like if you have repressed thoughts, right? Thoughts that you just put to the back of your mind, right? These things could often just come out when you didn't mean them to because they've been there for so long and they're just spilling out through your mouth. You feel me? Because your mouth is directly tied to your mind, especially the level that you're not aware of. You feel me? Now, with that being said, when you actually speak, right, everything that you say and do gets recorded inside your mind. So if you're saying positive things, right, these things will go inside your mind and will start changing all the negative shit inside your mind. But you must have emotion towards whatever you're saying. If you say I am beautiful but you don't feel beautiful, it's not gonna work. Now saying I am beautiful can help make you feel beautiful, but if it doesn't, then it's not gonna work. Now, as you say affirmations and mantras over a period of time, you start to build emotion towards them anyway. Plus, if you understand why, like for example, if you say I am beautiful, if you understand why you're actually beautiful, like let's say you're very smart, right? You feel me? And that's what makes you beautiful. Now when you say I am beautiful, it's gonna be a reminder that you are smart and that you value how smart you are, you feel me? Now, does being smart actually matter? It's up to you. What the fuck matters to you? You feel me? Fuck what the fuck I care about. What the fuck do you care about? You feel me? Eventually, when we get deep enough, we all care about the same shit. You feel me? It's just that we have so many different fucking blocks and fucking all these different concepts, and we're just confused inside of our minds, and we don't know what the fuck we're doing half of the goddamn time. You feel me? Well, most of the goddamn time. Fuck half. You feel me? So that's why mantras and affirmations work. Now, when you know your truest self, right? You will start to be able to say anything and just have that shit work for you because your truest self is literally everything. It's either nothing or it's everything, depending on what state you're in. You feel me? But your truest self is honestly nothing. You feel me? And it's also everything. So whatever the fuck you say about yourself is actually true. And you're gonna see how that plays out more inside my next clip. True cause of suffering is the lack of self-knowledge. Now, the truest self is that state that you experience in that deep, blissful nothingness sleep. The point of yoga, right, which means union, or to yoga back, is literally to get back to that original state of being, you feel me, consciously, and be able to hold that, you feel me? Why? Because inside that state, right, let's say you had a bad day at work. If you go to sleep and experience that blissful nothingness state, right, that day at work does not matter no more. Even if your physical body's in pain, once you hit that state of nothing, blissful shit, once you hit that state, you don't even feel the pain no more. So imagine if you had free access to that state all the time. This is a story of a yogi who literally had achieved such a state of bodilessness, right? He would walk around naked, you feel me? And then he walked, there's this one time he walked inside where this king was at or something like that, and the king had ordered people to kill him because he was naked in front of his wives. So the guy's just walking, and a nigga slit the nigga arm off, like with a sword. He just keep on walking, cause he had achieved such a state of basically separation from his body and more inside that nothing blissful state that the shit, he don't even feel that shit no more. So the true cause of suffering is the lack of self-knowledge. If you become firmly and fully established in what you actually are, then shit would no longer bother you. It will no longer bother you because you're super unbothered when you go to sleep and experience that deep blissful state. Now, if you go to sleep and you thinking about that shit, but you're not aware of it, you're not gonna be blissful. But as soon as you hit that blissful state, you do not care no more, and that's a fact. Now, peep, out of this state of nothing, right? You can make a whole entire dream. Inside of a dream, you could be whatever you want. A fucking plumber, a superhero, a clown, a fucking tiger, nigga. You a fucking tree. You could be whatever you want. Now, what keeps you locked inside that personality? How much you believe inside of it. You feel me? If you believe that you're a certain personality and actually believe that, you will become that personality. That's what you did inside the goddamn dream. If you are a superhero, you're going to stay a superhero for as long as you believe that you're actually a superhero. Now, once you stop believing that, you may not be a superhero no more. You feel me? Now, if you become fully aware of what you actually are, You could become whatever the fuck you want to become. You could make your own personality and then believe inside of that personality. You feel me? So that's why I said that you can literally, when you know your truest self, you can become everything, and everything you say, you can become that. You feel me? Because you actually are that. Like, and it's proven through the dream process. You can become whatever the fuck you want to become. You feel me?